179 episodes in, and Rebecca decided it's finally time to tell you about a highly coveted pamphlet that unveils a very cool way to explore Great Falls in central Montana. We're talking about the C.M. Russell Auto Tour, coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth,
and we're No Damn Experts. You know, we've spent the last 15 minutes before we go on air talking about lunches
yes,
and
food.
Addresses. And so
debating if our address is actually one that exists, if our street's actually one that exists.
Yeah.
It gets you here, though.
It does.
Oh.
But, I mean, it does pose a lot of questions as to my favorite question.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Where's 3rd Street off of 10th Avenue South?
I've never been asked that.
It's a really tough question because if you're driving on 10th Avenue South in Great Falls, Montana,
Yeah.
2nd Street is to the left. Overlook Drive is to the right. They're the same street.
Yep.
And then the next street you get to is 4th Street.
Oh.
There's no
But
3rd.
Is there on the other side of like the antique shop?
That's 4th Street.
That's still so there is no.
Because the way 2nd Street works,
It
wraps around. And so after you get off of once you get off of 9th Avenue South, then you get a 3rd Street.
Oh, it becomes 3rd.
Yeah.
I've never paid attention to that part.
So these
That's
are
good to know.
the unique things you're going to find when you stop in and visit with us at 15 Overlook Drive.
Which we think Overlook Drive is like literally just the block that we are, because it could either be 2nd or River Drive.
Right.
But it's neither.
And we have an Upper River Road and we have a Lower River Road.
Yes.
Which can be accessed off of River Drive or Overlook Drive. Because we're not quite sure where one starts and the other begins.
Yeah. I think it's probably in the midst of the curve or like under the overpass.
If you want an entire episode devoted to this conversation, we will bring in a city planner.
Oh, yeah.
And we will discuss it to no end. But, you know, we only give the listeners what they want.
Right.
So if this is what you want, you're going to have to email Carol information at visitgreatfalls.org. And tell her you want an episode on city planning the roads.
Well, we did remember Troy, our historian expert who talked about the Everest. He has a whole, Dr. Troy. He has the whole thing about the Boulevard District too. So that's one we've considered bringing him on for, is that he's done like research into the Boulevard District in Great Falls. So we could launch that conversation with Troy.
If this is a topic that interests you, the roads and the way the city is laid out, we'd be happy to do it for you.
Because as we do tell people who come in, there is some strategy to, like, I would argue quite a bit more like forethought in how this city was laid out.
The original town site.
Correct.
As I often tell people, the Riverview area.
Yeah, Riverview, just drive at your own risk.
The 80s were crazy, people.
Yep. And then even up like the Marketplace area gets a little weird too.
That's true.
But the basics of getting around. So maybe it sounds like we do need an episode on this.
But what we are going to talk about today is more roads.
Yes.
But the easiest roads. Like, you're not going to have problems on this road.
Yeah.
There are multiple roads we're going to send you on. But let me start the episode by sharing. We're going to talk about Charlie Russell today.
Yes.
And we don't have a Charlie Russell expert in the studio with us.
Nope.
Because we don't need it.
You're an expert on this.
Well, only because I know about
you
it.
Have
and
experience.
this whole project gets me giddy.
Yeah.
I just am excited about it. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up now is because, let me just intro. Good Lord. First
Another
of all,
5 minutes in, third start of the intro.
we're going to be discussing the C.M. Russell Auto Tour today. And this is a scenic drive, if you will, through the traditional Russell country area, which is just the places Charlie traveled and then captured in his paintings. So when you see when you see his artwork, like In Without Knocking, that's an actual place that he was at, something he actually saw, something that really happened. So I always like to say Charlie was the photographer of his time, because there were no photos.
Yeah.
But he's capturing what he's experiencing. And you can go today to where In Without Knocking happened.
Yeah.
And where it is.
And it's an artistic drive, right? Because you're using your mind's eye to create and see modern day.
And it's not in real time. He wasn't a quick draw artist.
No, however, some of these landscapes, it's not a stretch at all to imagine what's in the painting in that area.
And the bar that these horses are going into in the painting In Without Knocking is in Stanford, Montana.
Oh.
You can still go to it.
Can you?
Yes.
Wow. See, that's cool.
See, this is what I love about this auto tour.
Yeah.
Is you're going to see the landscapes. You're going to see the actual spots along the drive. Now, there's not going to be like a guide standing in the field going, this is where Charlie painted this, you know?
There should be during the summer just a bunch of Bill Bronsons out in their Charlie Russell garb.
Just
out
standing
there, standing there like,
waving.
This is the spot. Yeah.
Now, this is a project that started many, many, many years ago.
Okay.
Long before me. And I only knew about it because Gail Fisher, the former Central Montana tourism director, had a C.M. Russell Auto Tour book. She had like 3 of them. And I'm like, what is this? And I'm looking at it and she's like, yeah, there's not many of those left in existence. So,
oh no,
like I have hoarded them. Much like I hold back information about some of my favorite places to see the falls.
Yes.
I only brought out the C.M. Russell Auto Tour to people that I felt were worthy enough to experience it.
Because this is a more coveted
because
publication.
they don't produce it anymore.
Why not?
Well,
why can't we fix that?
Well, I'm sure we could, but the cost for printing things.
Yeah, it's a bigger guide.
And then the other component of this, now again, I'm not an expert, so this might be a lie, but you have to have the rights to be able to reproduce the paintings.
Oh, sure.
That are in this book.
Yeah.
And it's not likely that we still have.
Oh man, all these things that you don't think about.
The copyright availability to be able to do this.
Because
again.
there's a lot of, it's a very mini calendar almost with all the replications of his paintings.
So in here, if I think correctly, there's 25 different paintings, each with their own page of the. It gives you the what do you call that? The replica. The replica.
Like the print.
It gives you the piece of artwork
version of the art.
An image of the artwork, the description, and then where on the trail you can actually see it. So then in the center of the book, there's a full map of where each one of these locations are.
And there are also some of these, like the Stanford one, the one you were talking about, it's in a town in Stanford, still like a bar that still exists. Some of these, though, are, there's ones where I was just looking at the elk, or when I was a kid and he's on the trail. These are not physical locations in the sense of it's not like a property or a store or something. These are, you're using your imagination to say, okay, this is the area he was thinking about. when he was painting.
This is the landscape that's in the background.
Right.
And so that is on that one is from a landscape that's very pretty up Yogo, on Yogo Road. Mm-hmm. I think you're heading south out of Sapphire Village. And so you can go to the actual place that is depicted there, but there's not obviously a dude sitting on a horse in the winter, but you can see the background for that image is still there.
It's right there. This would be, if anybody wants to donate to this cause, we should get, the artist, and I actually was at the same graduation party as him this last weekend, but who has the horse statues on the hill as you're going towards Three Forks.
Okay.
So that artist, or any other artist, he comes to Western Art Week too, but get somebody to do sculptures like this in these locations.
That would be kind of cool.
So you can visualize it more. So if anybody wants to donate,
so if it's an
cause,
elk, we'll put an elk there.
Yeah.
If it's a bison or a bear, we'll put those animals
as sculptures,
just kind of markers.
Right. So you can see, and you're in that spot. You're in the right place. Yeah.
Look at you being an idea fairy.
Well, now I just need some funding. So if anybody wants to, you just email Carol again. Tell her I want to donate to the cause. We'll start a fund.
And if you have the capability of just giving us a blank check, we will take that.
Or if you just want to go ahead and start making some sculptures, there you go. Getting us access to some of the land, all of those things, please go for it.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today, is this really great tool. And the reason I'm now allowing it to be publicized on our podcast, because this is the first time we've ever talked about it, we have unearthed quite a few boxes of these things.
I was kind of wondering, I was like, okay, so we're talking about it. We should offer people the ability to write in and say, hey, can you send this to me?
Yep.
And that would be kind of mean if we didn't offer that at the end of talking about it.
So we have some. I thought there was only one box left in existence because Christy at the C.M. Russell Museum had secured me one and said I could have it.
Okay.
So I was getting less stingy, but still pretty stingy when you only have one box left in the world.
Right.
4 of them have been delivered.
4 boxes?
4 additional boxes have been delivered to our building. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, hey, maybe we could let more people know about it.
So if you are listening to this episode, you are lucky because you have the opportunity to get in on one of those 4 boxes.
You're not getting a box. You're getting a brochure.
A pamphlet from inside one of these 4 boxes. Yes.
And 1 per household.
Yes. Yeah.
1 per household per lifetime.
Does Carol
if you
know
lose it,
that she's not supposed to be sending them out to anybody and everybody?
Well, I don't know. We probably should make a rule about it.
You got to. What is the question they have to answer in order to be able to? I think if you listen to this episode, you should have access to it.
But you also have to be going. Like, you can't just get it to read. Maybe that's it.
You got to actually do.
You have to say.
You have to submit like a gas receipt later proving that you drove this area.
I'm heading to Utica.
You have to send us pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe what you need to, the question
is.
is.
Hold something ransomed.
I'm heading to Utica. I want to see Charlie's work along the way. Do you have a book that you're willing to share? And unless it's asked in that way, we know you don't really want. Because some people won't be able to actually say Utica correctly.
That's true. So it shows that you listen to this. Is this, do we have the same issue with
copy
regurgitating this work that, because we have our Basecamp magazine, you can get a physical copy mailed to you, but you can also flip through it on the website.
Yeah.
Can that not be done with this because of the pictures? I'm
just going to say
probably not. Oh,
probably not. Like it can't be done.
Right.
Just
because you're still repurposing those photos.
Who knows?
Right.
But wouldn't that be cool?
Right.
But it's not as good as taking it with you because
the hard copy is better for sure.
The map. Now this is where the scenic route comes in.
Okay.
It's a beautiful drive.
It is. It's gorgeous.
You leave Great Falls. You head to all along the way. It's Highway 87, heading east. You're going to Belt, Rainsford, Geyser, Stanford, Windham. You can go to Hobson, a little bit towards Lewistown, but then in Hobson or Windham, depending on how you're retracing your steps, you're going to head to Utica and south to Sapphire Village. And that secondary portion, head south, what I like about it is the main map shows you all the paved roads.
Oh.
If you really want to have some Charlie level fun, you're going to have to get off the paved road and go on the gravel roads to Sapphire Village and beyond, because that's where Charlie would go. And the thing that just continually amazes me, Charlie didn't have a car. He's doing this on the back of a horse.
And this is some distance to cover.
It's a huge amount of distance.
Yeah.
Because in a car today, it's still an hour and a half drive to get to Utica.
Yeah. I was like, that's not, I mean, this is a full day.
Going 72 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's
very specific, 72.
Well, I'm a little bit of a rule breaker, but not so much where I'd get
that
arrested.
You're going to get caught. So 2 over is a good spot. Yeah.
So when I'm looking at the distance Charlie would have traveled.
Yeah.
And at the pace he would have traveled, I can just assume he's moseying.
Right. He's not galloping this whole way across the prairie.
He's just out for a leisurely stroll, taking in the sights.
Yeah.
But he's got, there's so much Charlie Russell history in that Sapphire Village and beyond. So the South Fork Road, the Yogo Road, the Middle Fork area, all Charlie's old stomping grounds. And those are the places where you're really going to see a lot of those landscapes and those unique experiences. The Quiet Day in Utica painting is actually that building, the Utica Trading Post, still stands today.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, it's funny because this does not look like it was a quiet day at all.
Wasn't he a little sassy?
Yeah, I like that.
And there's also a painting that Charlie did where they team roped a bear.
Yes.
I don't know if that's in here. Let me just
we'll
quickly peruse as we use some time fillers. That did not happen in this area. It's not here.
Gotcha.
There we go.
I did notice on here, do you know the pink road? It's improved gravel. Do you know what improved gravel means?
Maintained by the county road department.
Okay. Because this is an area, I've heard you talk about Sapphire Village before. You've been there many times, right?
Yeah. Okay. Insider tip. They've got an amazing breakfast burrito at the Blue Nugget. Oh.
Where is that?
In Sapphire Village.
Okay. Is Sapphire Village an actual town?
Yeah, let's call it a town.
Okay. It's a community?
There we go.
Okay. I thought it was kind of just a gathering area. I didn't realize there was actually business there.
Yeah, they have businesses there. There's there's a campground.
Okay.
There's a bar. There's cabins.
Okay.
There's no post office, so it's not a real town.
It's not an actual town.
No,
yeah.
It's still Hobson from that perspective.
Okay.
But the Blue Nugget, nice little watering hole.
Yeah. But the breakfast burrito there.
Oh, it's really good. It is a really good breakfast burrito. And when I go
Love
camping in the mountains, we're usually in this area.
Okay.
And I don't leave the mountains for nothing.
Except this breakfast burrito.
I will leave it for this breakfast burrito.
Nice.
It is that good.
Yeah.
And
okay, good to know.
And we will go out of our way to find a reason to go to Sapphire Village to have this breakfast burrito.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good breakfast burrito.
So make sure you get an early start and stop there on your way.
Yeah. Now, the other thing about this route is for most people, I'm going to say for all people, it's an out and back route. There's no way to make a loop.
Unless you're really going off-road.
Now.
Or off paved road.
If you're in this office and I can get eye-to-eye contact with you to really discern your abilities, I can tell you how to make it a loop.
Oh.
But it's not real.
And that's going to be
not a real
and
good
it would
plan.
be a longer day if you took this loop.
Not only it's not really that long of a day.
Okay.
Depending on the year. Depending on the time of year. And depending on the year.
Yeah.
The last couple years, you would have been able to go through on Memorial Day on that road.
Okay.
But most Memorial Days, you can't because it's full of snow and you're not getting through on that road.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, it is not an improved gravel road. It's very unimproved. Just a lot of holes. I wouldn't even really call it a road. It is
just not field.
2 tracks that you would follow.
Okay, yeah, this is real. This is really.
So when you meet a vehicle, you're pulling off. Like there's no way to.
Yeah.
Like there's not 4 lanes of tracks. There's just 2 lanes of tracks.
One for each tire of the side of the vehicle. Yeah.
Yes. So that's
so if
the
you
kind
really
of
wanna
stuff we're talking about. But it is
level.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you're not taking a Honda Civic.
Right.
Normal, smart human beings aren't taking a Honda Civic on this road.
Yeah.
Some of the holes will bury your Honda Civic. And it's not like you know what's coming up.
Expert level traveler stuff.
And the other part is unimproved road means unless you have 10, 12, if they make them, 18 ply tires, you're going to get flats the entire way. So have a lot of spares, just no stuff.
But that's the real secret expert level. You can do all of this in a normal vehicle on paved roads.
Yes. Out and back.
Out and back. Yeah.
Again, you really want some insider tips. I will give them to you.
Come in and ask for Rebecca.
Eye to eye.
Yeah.
I got to be able to judge
inspect your vehicle, give you a quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to really be able to see what your intellect level is.
And if you do this strategically too, I mean, you don't have to hit all on the way out and just drive. I mean, you can
make a trip out of it.
Trip. Yeah.
I mean, and
why there's a bit of a loop, Hobson, Utica, Wyndham, right?
Yeah. Like if you do Wyndham, Utica, Hobson, and then back around.
Yeah.
Now, here's another fun thing. The Utica is also what we're going to call a settlement.
Okay.
It has a bar called the Ox and Yoke Inn.
Is it actually an inn?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure people have slept there before.
Yeah.
But not in a bed.
Right.
Not in your own little bed.
Not in your own environment. Yeah.
In there, they have etched into the doors on the back bar, young Kid Russell.
Really?
Charlie Russell and CM Russell.
Oh my gosh.
So you see the progression of Charlie as he aged.
That is super cool.
It is one of the neatest features. There's a lot of cool features in there.
Yeah.
A lot of brands, area brands are on the wall, and it's an old log cabin.
Really? That's
what
cool.
it looks like.
Yeah.
And by old, I mean it gets heated with a wood stove.
Wow. That's super cool though. I mean, talk about really, I mean, we talk about this in our office all the time, that Great Falls is more, this area is more the still authentic, genuine Montana experience. And if you want that, do this drive and go to Utica, go to this bar. You'll really see that.
Yeah. And you can get your picture taken with a brand. You can get your picture taken with
And by brand,
Charlie.
We mean like it's a hot iron that you would stick onto a cow to mark your product. Your
this is your
cow.
property.
Right. Not just like a brand, like a logo,
Nike.
like this is a brand.
Yep.
Like
someone owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they explain, like on there, it'll have the brand, and then it'll say like for horse, it's this, where the placement is.
Okay.
And
like
then
what symbols and lines and
I think probably the neatest part of it, because you'll find bars throughout Montana that have the brands on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
This one, though, they have the brand owner's signature that then they like burned into the wood.
Oh.
So it's really kind of a neat feature.
That's really cool.
So that is in there as well. But I really like those Charlie progressions.
Yeah.
Just a real beautiful piece in that building.
Yeah.
The other thing that you're going to find in this area is the actual Yogo sapphire.
Yeah. I was going to ask that because we're saying Yogo, we're saying Sapphire Village.
Yep. So the only place in the entire world where Yogo sapphires exist is in Yogo Canyon in the Little Belt Mountains. Now, you have to have mining rights to be able to get to that. There's a company that owns these rights. You're not walking in and getting sapphires. But you can also buy beautiful Tiffany jewelry that has Yogo sapphires in it. I asked my mom for one time. She politely declined to buy it for me.
Well,
I began to question her actual love for me.
Was this when you were like a child you asked for this?
No, just a couple of years ago when we were in Vegas.
Okay.
There is this beautiful, if anybody, Shannon asked for statues. I'm asking for a cobblestone Yogo sapphire Tiffany ring.
Oh.
That's all I'm asking for. You can send it to me.
You can donate that.
Yeah. Size 9 would be wonderful if they make it.
You can get a resize though.
Nope, it's an eternity band.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a beautiful piece. But the only place on planet Earth where these Yogos come from is in this area where Charlie has painted and hung out and done stuff. So
I wonder how many people have gotten in trouble for trying to get into the area and find sapphires on their own.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not many because you're really not going to, unless you know where you're going.
It's not that some big signage displayed. That's smart.
Yeah. But the other neat thing is past the mine. Well, in that drainage where the mine is, they have the old town of Yogo.
Cool.
And up there, you can still see kind of the foundations where they were.
Wow.
It's really neat.
That is cool.
So I can imagine Charlie just showing up.
Yeah.
Looking for someone's beer. I've had a long ride. Maybe someone could give me a cold one.
Yeah. And it's a stop. It's number 23 on here, Yogo City.
Yep.
Prospectors first discovered gold in Yogo Creek. There you go.
Yeah. There's no picture
There's no picture there, but it talks about the area.
Yeah. So one of Charlie's good friends, Jake Hoover, spent a lot of time in this area, had a cabin up there as well. There up South Fork, you've got Russell Point, which I think is still where the Russell cabin is. It's privately owned, so you don't get to go into that.
And there's still a Yogo. It's not at the old Yogo town, but there's a different one that talks about that shows the miners, number 21 on this. So closer to Sapphire Village shows.
Yeah. So if you guys can pick out where that pencil sketch is, you might be able to find yourself a Yogo sapphire.
Oh, it does say in here, please don't trespass.
Oh, yeah. Well, you shouldn't do that anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
But I just think it's one of the most unique experiences,
really cool.
Just to dig a little bit deeper into Charlie's life and to imagine him saddling up a horse and heading east.
Yeah.
For days on end.
Right.
Leaving his wife and kid at home. Like,
bye. I'm going to go on. I need some inspiration.
I'm going to go on a walkabout.
Right. With my horse for weeks, months. I don't know how long he was gone.
I'd have to think at least a month.
Right. If he was doing this whole
I don't know what he's doing.
Or, even if he didn't do this in one full trip, this is a long way.
It's a long way.
And I have to wonder, his first time out on, is he just like, I just got to get out of here? Like, I'm just going to head east. And then at what point are you like, oh, I'm just going to keep going?
Yeah. Or when do you decide to head south?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the roads are developed today, but what was it?
It was just.
What was it like then?
Wild West. Yeah.
I don't see really any roads.
No. Just head till he heard there was a bar that way, so he just started walking.
Just going until I find beer. Yeah. Charlie, you and I would have been good buddies.
That sounds familiar.
So this was originally a project done by some really brilliant folks. I want to say, I don't know, 2000s maybe.
Okay.
Who knows how old this thing is, but it was great insight. The C.M. Russell Museum was obviously involved and is still involved. You can get this auto tour book from them if you don't want to obey all my rules, which clearly there are a lot to get access.
Yeah.
The C.M. Russell Museum does have these books. And then the Forest Service was involved because a lot of the area that you would travel into on those unimproved roads is in Forest Service control. So that's always good. And then, as I'd mentioned, Gail Fisher with Central Montana Tourism was a part of this. Yeah. Back in the day, they were called Russell Country Tourism.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he traipsed about the entire area, but now it's called Central Montana Tourism. And then our friends in Judith Basin County, which covers Stanford and Geyser and Windham, I think, are all in Judith Basin County. They were involved in this project. And then a really unique partner I want to make a huge shout out for, Snowy Mountain Development Corporation, which is the economic development organization for Fergus County or that bigger area.
A little bit further
I think it's
east.
a 6-county region. So they're based in Lewistown. And the crazy thing is, Snowy Mountain Development Corporation sits on the board for Central Montana Tourism.
Oh,
so the nerdy things that you never really needed to know, but that I'm sharing with you.
And also, Rebecca used to live in Lewistown.
Yeah, there we go. And, you know, Charlie and I are probably really good friends.
Kindred spirits.
Yep. So we have this book. We encourage you to take this drive because it is absolutely stunning to be able to see those spots.
Yeah.
Because this project's a little bit old, you may not see all of the signage that used to be there. So there used to be a Charlie Russell skull sign to denote those points along the way.
Yeah.
And in true Montana fashion, some of them have just disappeared.
Yeah.
And not been replaced.
Weird in rural areas in Montana.
But you have the map.
Yes.
So just become a really good GPS guy.
And the whole concept too is that it's interpretation a little bit, right? Like you're not driving to a center or a statue yet at these locations. It's
right.
You're pulling over and saying, oh, wow, this is what he saw when he was painting this.
Now, if this kind of fluidity does not work for you, if you know you're the type of person that needs to have specific coordinates, pass on this option. Maybe this is not your thing.
Right. Because
you're not going to get specific coordinates for all of this. You're just going to get the general area. And as we said, no Bill Bronsons are going to be standing in a field waiting for you to show up.
But, you know, maybe this is an event we can work on in partnership with Central Montana is we do a day or a weekend where we do have people out at these sites.
Yeah. Kind of like Norma does with Waking the Dead.
Yes.
We could do that. And then we could, start in Sapphire Village for a breakfast burrito and conclude with a burger at the Ox. I mean, those things are completely backwards, just so you know.
Yeah.
But hey, I think we could make this a pretty fun weekend for folks.
You can use Great Falls as your base camp for that because, of course, we have a lot right here in Great Falls that has to do with Charlie.
Not to brag, but we have his home, his studio, and currently the largest collection of his work of art on display at the C.M. Russell Museum complex. Not to say he didn't paint the entire area.
Right.
But this was home.
Right. And there's so much you can, if you're making a weekend out of this, you come, I would say start at the C.M. Russell Museum because then you learn about him. You kind of learn what you're looking for, his style, things like that. And then the next day you go out on this auto tour.
And when you're there, visit with them about Jake Hoover. Now, we've had, just like we get Lewis and Clark enthusiasts here who want us to be experts in Lewis and Clark.
Right. We send you to the experts.
We are not. And I'm sorry, but in all the places you could go in the world to learn about Lewis and Clark, the Community Visitor Center is not the place.
Right.
Go to the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center in the community.
Great Falls is the place to go for the most information on that. However,
just not us.
Right.
Go to the interpretive center.
Yeah.
Same on Charlie Russell.
Yes.
If you want to know and we had someone come in and they wanted to know all about Jake Hoover's cabin up Yogo Road. And I'm like, and they didn't come in and say, hey, Charlie's friend, Jake Hoover. They came in and said, we need to know where the Jake Hoover cabin is. And I'm like, I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Is Jake Hoover your friend? Like, who are you talking about?
Yeah. Do you have an address?
Some context. Right. Context.
And so from that point forward, now I know who Jake Hoover is and I know where this cabin is. And then I got really concerned because of how specific and how ingrained and entrenched into the story these people were.
Oh.
I'm afraid they trespassed.
What are you doing out there? Oh, 100% they did.
Yeah. I think they may still live out there at Jake Hoover cabin.
They just made their new home out there.
That's how committed to this idea they were.
Wow.
Like they had read way too many books.
Ancestor? Were they like in his family line?
No.
Huh.
Fanatics. Just plain fanatics.
Okay. Well,
you aren't getting a book if you're like that. FYI.
Rein it
from
in.
Here.
You can be a fanatic. Just rein it in when you come in here.
Or go to the Russell Museum and get theirs.
Yeah. Which is where you should go anyway, because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I love this. This is really cool. This is something that I might have to borrow one of our booklets when I know I'm headed east one day, to just say, hey, let's pull over here on our way to camp or whatever out that direction.
I will tell you, spot number 22 is one of my favorite spots on this tour.
The toll gate?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
The numbered sign is still there.
Really?
And it is, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but it has very much Gates of the Mountains style feel to it.
Really?
I love that spot.
That's super cool.
So
nice.
And that also
very cool.
I have a fond affinity for the number 22. It's my number.
Oh, was that your number when you played basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have it tattooed somewhere on you?
Well, that's an After Dark episode.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, we'll add that to the list of conversation topics. So that works out well. That 22 is that spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't get up Yogo as much as I want, but Tollgate is really a cool spot.
That is I have not been to that area yet in Montana.
It is so stunning.
That.
I do. Yeah. It is one of my favorite areas, and it is on a gravel road.
Okay.
It's wide enough to meet a person-ish.
Without falling totally off the road?
Correct.
Okay.
There is room. But it's just, a little more developed, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tend not to end up over there just because you're competing with road traffic.
Yeah.
And we're not in vehicles. We're in like four-wheelers.
4x4s and stuff.
So.
Yeah. 4x4s. That's not what I meant. Side by side is what I meant.
You should have a 4x4.
Four-wheeler side by side.
But there is great camping further up in that drainage.
Mm-hmm.
So, smaller spots and really beautiful old mining camps that you'll find along the trail systems up there. So
cool.
Make it a priority. If you're into scenic drives and you really want to see some more of the Charlie Russell history, we've given you all the nuggets.
Yeah.
The blue nuggets.
Look at that, tying it all together. And maybe that'll be part of the pop quiz too. To really show that you listened to this episode.
Yeah, we're gonna quiz you now from now
on. That's the place with the breakfast burritos, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Blue Nugget. They've got great merchandise.
Sapphire Village.
They have a little grocery store there that's got good cheese.
Well, I love a good cheese.
Yeah, it's got good cheese. Okay. And beautiful Yogo Sapphire jewelry. At that bar and at Oxen Yoke. So
it's kind of funny. You wouldn't normally think, I'm going to go buy some exquisite jewelry. Let me go to this rustic bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both have amazing sapphire jewelry. And the connection there is it's a company out of Bozeman that has mining rights, and they mine for the sapphires, and then they make the jewelry in Bozeman. And then when they come back up to do some more mining, they drop off a bunch of jewelry for sale.
Well, there you go.
It's beautiful.
Truly stuff. Montana made.
Doesn't get any better than that, folks.
Very cool.
So plan your trip now.
Yes.
To drive all over and see this beautiful landscape. And if you need any other ideas, I think we've got 170 plus other episodes you can listen to.
Yes, that's right. What is this? This is the 179th episode.
Ooh, right before 180. Mm-hmm. Who knows what the future holds. So, folks, until we see your bright, smiling, happy, healthy, beautiful face here in our fine, fine city, we hope you're out creating amazing memories with your friends and family, wherever you might be. We'll see you soon.
We Are No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town.